Well, today is Thursday. It is the 7th of January, 2016, and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Pat Garner.
And we thank you very much for being with us. What's going on this morning?
We got a blood drive.
Is that today?
Yes.
A blood drive today.
Between the county and the city.
Oh, that's our competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Starting at 10 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
To 2:30 this afternoon.
Okay, so from 10 this morning until 2:30 this afternoon.
Yes.
You're invited to donate blood. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't hurt. It can't make you sick, right? So, and this is so important for a couple of reasons. Number one, people need blood. I mean, blood has a shelf life. It doesn't last forever. Unfortunately, most of the time it's used before it ever runs out, but it runs out of time. But 1 unit of blood can help 3 people. So if you have any questions, you can call the Red Cross office at 919-735-7201, 735-7201. That's at 600 North George Street. And the competition today is between the city and the county.
Yes.
The city's won twice. We need to win this one. So if you're a county employee, I want to see you at the blood drive today. And if you're not a county employee, you're invited to attend and give blood today. 600 North George Street between 10 and
2:30.
And 2:30. All right. Well, Patricia, I'm sorry, Pat.
That's okay.
Is that okay?
I've been called worse.
Oh,
That's
okay. All right, so have I. I've never been called Pat, though, or Patricia. All right, but here's our trivia question.
We can start calling you Pat or Patricia.
You don't want to do that.
Or Patrick.
No, please, no, don't do that. No. Anyway, here's today's trivia question for today. We've begun a new segment. We're asking trivia questions. We'll ask a question, and then in the second segment of the program, after our interview or our feature in the middle of the program, we'll come back and give you the answer. So here's something to think about. The category for today's question is the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. The Colorado River runs through the Grand Canyon. But the Grand Canyon is not in Colorado. Where is the Grand Canyon? Colorado River runs through the Grand Canyon. But the Grand Canyon is not in Colorado. Where, in what state, is the Grand Canyon? There you go. Just something to think about. All right, and if you're a geography buff, you may know that. There you go. All right, today's the 7th. Terry Moore is having a birthday today, and if the name sounds familiar, then you may have associated her with Howard Hughes, world's richest man there some years back. He's passed away now. But Terry Moore claimed to be, in fact, at one point, and he financed a lot of her movies and such. She was in 77 movies and a bunch of other stuff. But she claimed to be the secret wife of Howard Hughes. She said that they were married. He didn't say anything. But she's 86 today. A lot of people know the name Dr. Michael Roizen. Dr. Roizen, he and Mehmet Oz, Dr. Oz, write books together, health books. Dr. Roizen is 69 today, and he looks about 40. He does. It's just amazing. He's 69 years today. Kenny Loggins, a lot of people know him. Kenny Loggins, the musician and songwriter, is 67 today. Erin Gray, that lovely lady, was in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century some years ago. She's also in Silver Spoons, and she was in Baywatch. She's 65 today. David Caruso, he's the redheaded Mr. Cool on NYPD Blue, and then he left that program to become famous, although he didn't realize he already was. Duh. And he went on to do big-time movies and all this kind of stuff, and he was a big flop at that. I hope he's not watching. He'll come get me for that. But anyway, he's now the star of CSI Miami, and he's a pretty good actor, too. He's 59 today. Linda Kozlowski, if you remember the Crocodile Dundee series of movies, she was the love interest in Crocodile Dundee. She's 57 today, but not only in Crocodile Dundee, Paul, what's his name, ended up leaving his wife and actually marrying Linda Kozlowski, so more than love interest in just that movie. Anyway, she's 57 today. Nicolas Cage, everybody knows Nicolas Cage. He's 51 today. Doug E. Doug is an extremely funny guy. I first saw him when he was a regular on Cosby. He was one of the neighbors on Cosby, always in some kind of trouble. Funny guy. He was in the movie Cool Runnings. He's 45 today. And Lindsay Fonseca. And I mentioned that name because we have Erin Fonseca here in Goldsboro. But Lindsay Fonseca is a star. She's a TV star. She's on the Young and the Restless. She's Colleen Carlton. And she's also Ted's daughter on How I Met Your Mother. And she's in the TV show Nikita. She plays Alex in Nikita. Anyway, she's 28 today. Just a child. Just a kid. All right, today's the 7th. Today is Old Rock Day.
Rock.
Of course, most rocks are
old.
I mean, you think about it. What is that right there?
Let's go to our next segment, and when we come back, I will talk about Board of Elections.
Did I waste that much time?
You did.
Okay. Well, no, I didn't mean I wasted it, but okay, anyway. We'll be back after this segment. Today in the studio, we welcome Steve Stroud. Steve is the director of the Inspections Department here for the County of Wayne. Hey, bud.
How you doing?
Great to have you back in here with us, and I'm doing
Thanks,
well.
sir.
Hope you are.
Yes, sir. Doing fine.
All fired up for the new year and everything.
Ready to go.
Did we have any great changes in laws or in policy or anything like that?
No, not in the last year or so. We hadn't had any major changes.
Okay.
Basically, the same thing we've been working with as far as the code books for the last 3 years.
Okay. So anyway, it did not change, but we have to. We want to bring some attention to certain things going on in the county, and I don't know why I'm talking like this, but it must be morning. Yeah. So let's talk about things that people are calling and asking you questions about. Where do we start with that?
One thing we're getting a lot of questions about is if power has been off of a residence for a period of time, let's say over 6 months or so. Power companies now, Duke Energy, Tri-County Electric, are requiring that an inspection be done on the house before they'll restore power to the residents.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So what's the reason for that?
Well, it started a few years ago, and I think it's because of the vandalism, people going into a vacant house that may not be occupied, cutting wires out, stealing the copper, and I guess they were afraid if they go back and turn power back on a place, and not knowing what may be underneath it or inside it or what has been done, stand a chance of maybe fire risk or something because the wire's been cut out of it.
That's probably a good thing, isn't it?
And it is. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And what we are telling people is that preferably you get you a licensed electrician, pull a permit from us, and what we call a power turn-on request, and they'll pull a permit for that. The electrician needs to go out there, check the property out, make sure that everything is grounded, bonded properly. There's been no wires cut out. Everything looks as it should. Go on the inside, make sure no wires have been cut. There's not wires hanging out of the wall that could be a hazard.
Yeah.
And then he'll call us, request us to go out there and do our inspection. We'll go behind and check, make sure everything is okay. Then we'll turn it into the power company to get power restored.
So the whole idea behind this is safety, to keep to make sure nothing's been tampered with or there's been no vandalizing of the property.
That's right.
And this would pertain to, I would guess, rental property. Somebody that the house has been vacant for a while, or a house has been sold and the new occupant has not moved in yet.
That's right. Yeah, and if the power has been on for, let's say, the last 6 months. They've not. The power may have been cut off, let's say, 2 months. Power company will normally go ahead and turn it back on.
After a couple of months.
Right, but if it's over a 6 months period, they're requesting this inspection.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So hire an electrician to start with.
Preferably.
Preferably. It's not mandatory, not necessary.
No, you could pull your own permit if you own the property and you're going to live there. You can pull your own permit, but we say preferably electrician because he knows what to look for.
Any idea what an electrician would charge for something like that?
I have no idea.
No idea. I'm sure an electrician would be happy to tell you.
Oh, I'm sure they
what
would.
the charge would be. Well, what does the county charge for permits?
For that kind of permit, it's just a $60 permit.
$60 permit. And that way you can rest assured that
right.
the house would be, or the property would be safe to enter and live in.
Right.
Okay. Let's talk about permits for a minute. Let's talk about just in general permits. What about, and we're going to do two segments, and that one that will run now and one that will run later in the week. But I wanted to ask you about permits and just in general. what's necessary, what's mandatory for a permit, and when is the building small enough that you do not need a permit?
Let's say somebody wants to build a storage building in their backyard. Detached garage.
Right.
Or detached storage building.
Okay.
Anything that's a 12 by 12 or 12-foot dimension or less, building code does not require a permit or inspections. Once you get over that size, then permits are required.
So is that 12 feet in any direction?
Yes.
So if it's a 10 by 16, you need a permit.
You need a permit.
Or
right.
a 10 by 20 or an 8 by, let's say it's a 2 by 30.
Need a permit.
You need a permit.
That's right.
Okay, I'm just testing.
Right. Right.
Okay. I don't remember the last time I saw a 2 by 30, but anyway, I'm sure one out there somewhere. So, so what else does your department do besides issue permits?
Of course, we do all inspections for electrical, plumbing, heating and air conditioning. Anytime you get a heating and air conditioning unit replaced by a mechanical company,
right,
it's required that they have an inspection.
Anytime there's a heating and air conditioning unit replaced,
right,
an inspection is required.
That's right.
So how do you inspect? What do you do?
We want the heating and air conditioning company will pull a permit from us stating that they're replacing a unit on a house. Once they get everything replaced and hooked back up, they call us for an inspection. And we go out there and we check in the electrical hookup to it, the ductwork that's hooked to the unit. They may just replace the unit, not the ductwork, making sure that the ductwork's hooked to it properly and drains out of the unit or drained out properly.
What could go wrong here? I mean, why is an inspection necessary for that?
Well, somebody could hook up something wrong electrically, not ground it properly.
That makes sense, again, fire, possibly.
Possibly, yeah. The air conditioning unit, the ductwork that's hooked to it may not be done properly, maybe getting air gaps in it. The hood that goes over the unit from the unit to the house may not have it sealed properly, and you're allowing moisture and rain going back under the unit into the house. Oh, yeah.
All kinds of reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. So, aside from heating and air conditioning, what else would be required of an inspection? For instance, hot water heater.
Hot water heater. Okay.
Replacing a hot water heater, or is it inspection required?
If it's the same size unit that come out as they're replacing and the same type, then no.
Okay.
If it's but if let's say you change from an electric to a gas, then yes, it will be required because we want to make sure that the gas is hooked properly and it's vented properly.
Okay. Question number 2.
Okay.
Why is it called a hot water heater when it's never called a cold water heater? Never mind that. Never mind that. Back to business.
You're heating cold water, not hot water, right?
Something like that. I don't know. It's confusing to me. I don't know the semantics of it all. It's all word games. I don't know, Steve.
That was good, Wayne.
Thank you. Hey, I don't make this stuff up. You know what? I don't make all of it up anyway. So, anyway, how long have you been with the county?
I've been with the county a little over 18 years now.
And what would you say is a big misconception about what you do or what your office does for the county, the inspections department? What do people think you're supposed to do or don't do or what?
Well, you know, I think we get a lot of people, mainly homeowners, not contractors, wondering why they have to get a permit. If it's my property, why do I have to get a permit? Why can't I do what I want to on my property?
You know, that's a pretty good question there. Don't you think it's a good question?
It is, but it may not be your property forever.
Oh.
I mean, and we want to protect you too.
Okay.
I mean, just because it's your house, we want to make sure you're protected too.
I suppose.
But 2 years down the road, you may sell the home to somebody else, and you don't want them to inherit the problems that you've caused by doing whatever you did without it getting inspected. Lord forbid you may die and your family inherits it.
I know. I wasn't going to mention that, but since you brought it up, but yeah, you know, in fact, in years past, and it's been a long time ago, I've seen where people would take and rig up things to their house, running extension cords to an outbuilding and just permanently leave them out there. And I've seen people running conduit above ground. And this is not good, is it?
No, it's not. And that's the reason for inspection. We want to make sure, you know, that the people's lives, the property is safe.
It's safe. That's
right.
Bottom line
That's
is
right.
safety.
Right.
Okay. So and there's a fee for all permits. Is that correct?
That's correct.
For all permits, and they will range in price from
$60 to a building permit, could be into thousands if it's a big piece of commercial property, a large commercial project.
Okay, but rarely, let's say a new home of, let's say a couple of thousand square feet will average about what?
The building permit would average maybe $400 or $500.
Okay, all right. But now once it's inspected, it's done,
That's
right?
That's
Unless
right.
you start adding on to it and changing things.
That's correct.
When does a homeowner not required to pay for a permit? What is he doing to his house that would not require?
Let's say if
permit.
you want to go in and do some what we call cosmetic work,
Okay.
changing some cabinets out.
Would not require a permit?
No, changing, taking down sheetrock, replacing it with something else, taking down paneling and putting up sheetrock.
Okay.
That would what we call cosmetic stuff, molding, painting type stuff, redoing the floor covering.
So usually if it pertains to electric, water, heat and air conditioning, HVAC, then they need information and they probably need a permit.
That's correct.
Or if they're adding a deck.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Again, there's a 12 by 12 rule.
We try to stick to that 12 by 12 rule.
Okay. All right. Why is that? I mean, decks can be less than 12 by 12 can be dangerous as well.
Right.
And I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but what's the matter with you?
Thank you, Wayne.
Hey, that's okay. I don't make this
Make me
stuff
feel
up.
right at home, don't you?
Yeah, I try.
I know you do. No, I guess if it's below that 12 by 12 dimension, it's not considered something big enough that could cause a hazard.
Yeah.
Go back to the storage buildings. Now, even if you don't get a permit, if you build a 10 by 12 storage building in your backyard, we still would try to stress the fact of tying it down. Make sure you anchor it down to the ground, because we don't you don't want high winds or hurricane to come up and roll it or blow it into your neighbor's yard and hit their house, or
We do, in fact, tend to have a tornado from time to time in
Yes.
this area, and some people would say, "Hey, I got a 10 by 10 storage building here, and it's not. I mean, it weighs hundreds of pounds. It could still be blown away.
Oh yeah,
could it
easily.
not? Yeah.
Easily. Straight line of winds from a thunderstorm can blow one over.
And even if somebody builds their own, it doesn't mean that the roof is attached properly.
That's right.
Okay, and that can be blown off.
Yep.
All right. So, what if somebody has a question for you, which I would strongly recommend, if you have any questions at all, to call this man. What's your phone number?
Our number at the office is 919-731-1169.
All right, and it just magically appeared on the screen there.
You got some good help.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, Steve, you're a good friend. I've known you a long time, and I appreciate all the good information you bring
Yes, sir.
to us.
Thank you,
you so
Wayne.
much. Steve Stroud is the Director of Inspections here for the County of Wayne. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And again, we welcome Sergeant Paige Leonard, Coordinator for Crime Stoppers, to the studio. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Great. Okay, we have a robbery to talk about, don't we?
We do.
All right, what's going on? We have pictures running behind us here, by the way.
Yeah,
what's
we
going on?
we actually have some good pictures, so I feel confident somebody out there will see these pictures and will help us identify this suspect.
Mm-hmm.
But on December 10th at about 8:15, we had a individual go into the Family Dollar, which is at 1403 Wayne Memorial Drive here in
Right.
town in Goldsboro. He had a knife and he robbed the store and the employees of some currency and some toothpaste,
Mm-hmm.
which is an unusual combination, but he did present a knife, and
We
we're
have some
hoping
pictures here. We're going to
Yeah.
put those up there.
we have some good surveillance photos, and we're
Yeah,
hoping that the public's going to take a look
There he
at
is.
these. This is a black male. He's approximately 5'9", slender build. He was wearing a white T-shirt and a black hoodie. And again, I said, he stole some currency. We were fortunate to have the Wayne County Sheriff's Department actually aided the Goldsboro Police Department this night with their K-9 unit to assist in some tracking.
Right.
Unfortunately, we did not catch the suspect this night on December 10th, but we are hoping that somebody out there is taking a look at this and is going to give us a call give us an idea who this may be and help us solve this case.
This has been about 3 weeks ago when this
That's
happened.
right.
And,
This was December the 10th.
looking at the pictures, you see a pretty clear picture of his face
That's
there.
right.
With, even though the black hoodie is covering his head,
Yeah.
you see him, you can get a good look at him. And December 10th is a while back, and
Right.
he stole items and currency.
Right.
Now, if someone recognizes this guy and they want to call, but they're afraid of being put in a position to testify, they're afraid of people knowing and finding out who they are, what happens here? What are we talking about?
Well, you know, it's a simple process. I say this each time. All they have to do is call the Crime Stoppers phone. It's that 735-225 number, or they can text that phone, which is that 222-4230 number.
Right.
It's blocked so that I can't see their name or their number. At any time, I'm never going to ask for their name or their number.
Okay.
They can give us the information if they're more comfortable calling or if they're more comfortable texting. If it's their information that leads to the arrest, then they're eligible for a cash reward. This is obviously a felony case. What they'll do is check back in with me, and if in the future, if we do make an arrest, then they'll meet up with me. I'll give them a cash reward. They'll never have to sign anything. They do not have to produce their ID. We'll set up a code name. I'll give them a cash reward, and that is the end of the exchange that we have. So it's a simple process.
The evidence speaks for itself.
Right.
The evidence is evidence.
Right.
And if someone calls in a tip, you don't have to know who they are. You don't want to know who they are.
Right.
It protects them. It protects you as well.
That's right. That's the whole purpose of having the anonymity.
Right. Now you see the phone numbers scrolling at the bottom of the screen there. The number 919-735-2255 or 919-222-4230. That's the text number.
Right.
You can text, and your phone blocks the names and all that. You don't have any idea who these people
That's
are.
right. Yeah. I sometimes I like to try to remind the public. Sometimes they'll, out of habit, leave me their name or number, and I try to remind people, you know, try not to leave me your name or your phone number. You know, it's our practice not to call you back. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know your number. Hopefully, I'm at a spot that I can answer your phone call and I'm not on the other line, because that means I can't identify you. So I don't want you to leave me those contact information.
Now you answer the phone.
Right.
You answer 735-2255.
That's right.
And an identifier does not pop up on your screen.
Right.
And once you answer the phone, then they can talk to you about the tip.
That's
and
right.
you can set up a code name. Now, if you can't answer the phone, they should hang up and try later.
They can hang up. Now, they can leave me a message because people leave me messages often.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people want to just leave a message, and I will still take that information and I'll provide it to the appropriate agency if that's all they want to do. And they can leave their code name and set up a code name and say, hey, this is my code name, and this is what I'm going to go by. And then they can call back and check in with me.
Okay.
So if it's a time that they miss me, that's okay. That happens often too. They just need to call back again. They just need to. It is one line, so sometimes I might be at the courthouse. I might be here at Channel 10 doing something. I might be away from the phone, so they can certainly call back.
Okay. Sergeant Paige Lerner of Crime Stoppers. Again, the number 919-735-2255 or 919-222-4230. And I appreciate your coming in. Let's see if we can get this guy off the street.
We appreciate you having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television, and today is Thursday, and I was going to look up to see what tomorrow is, but I'll look that up a little later. I'll let you know when we get there.
Let's talk about elections.
Elections. This is an election year, a big-time election year. So what's going on?
The Wayne County Board of Elections is asking or is looking for people in Wayne County that are registered voters in Wayne County to help with the poll workers. Or to help as
to
on
be a
the
poll
poll
worker.
worker.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, that's an important position there.
It is.
All right. So
It
so
is.
what else?
And you can contact Beverly York at 731-1411 at the Board of Elections office, and she'll be able to give you more information on.
Okay.
becoming the poll
This is the year of a presidential election. Also, a lot of senators and representatives and state officials as well will be. We have our governorship will be up for election. Governor McCrory is running for re-election. In fact, our here in Wayne County, our very own county commissioners will be
That's
up for election.
And
All right.
if they don't know what district they're in, they can contact Board of Elections.
You know, that's a very good point.
Yes.
You can go to the waynegov.com website, waynegov.com/BOE, Board of Elections website, and you can actually find out what district you're in. Or you can call that number. What was that number?
731-1411.
Yeah, and find out what district you're in. Yeah, that's very good, very good. Well, let's see what we have here. We've got something here that's new to 2016 from Michelle Estrada, who is with the Cooperative Extension Service. And Michelle's got something going on here called Fit and Fitness. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, it's not Fat and Fitness, it's Fat. It's Fit and Fitness. She got something like that started. Anyway, there's a thing, oh yeah, Fit and Fabulous, that's it.
Fit and Fabulous.
Fit and Fabulous program, new for 2016 from the Cooperative Extension Service. Beginning on January 11th, an educational program, nutritional education with hands-on activities, taste testing, that's my favorite part, discussions and food demonstrations and educational handouts, a monthly newsletter, physical exercise twice a week, incentives, line dancing, cardio, Zumba, all that kind of stuff. The cost is only $60 for a year, for the whole year, $60. That's $4. No, it's not. It's $5 a month.
Right.
$5 a month. And that's really inexpensive to get, for what you get out of this is really inexpensive. Anyway, talk to Kim Davis. Send Kim your non-refundable registration fee of $60. She is at the Cooperative Extension Service, P.O. Box 6868. Kim Davis at P.O. Box 68, Goldsboro. Or you can call out there and get more information about the Fit and Fabulous program at 919-731-1520. 731-1520. Now, Grand Canyon. We have the answers to today's trivia question. The Grand Canyon, the Colorado River runs through the Grand Canyon. That's a lot of what carved out the Grand Canyon. But the Grand Canyon is not in Colorado. What state is Grand Canyon in? Well, El Grande Cañano, is that a word? Is in the state of Arizona. Or some people would say Azarona, but then they would have said it wrong. Anyway, that's Arizona is the answer to today's trivia question. Ta-da! There you go. Old Rock Day. I had a thing about old rocks.
Is that our next segment? Our next segment.
Is that it? We're out of time? Already? We just got here. Well, maybe not. Anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow. We're going to be back tomorrow. Please join us at that time, 7 a.m. It repeats at noon, then again at 5:30 p.m. Yeah. And thank you, Pat, for being with us this week.
You're welcome.
We have one more day, and that will be Friday, and we're looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be a nice one. Anyway, we'll have more for you tomorrow, and until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Pat Garner.
And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television.